the experience that a lot of women have. So it builds up in that premenstrual phase, and that's where we see a lot of explosive fights between couples, well, male female couples, and where there's like a threat to the relationship, or like they're threatening to end the relationship, or like, fine, just fucking leave. Like we have all of this
I
shit
don't
that comes
care.
up.
See you never again, dick
Yeah.
face.
And then a week and a half later, love me. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I just needed a hug.
Well, that's often what it is.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
We're talking about me tits.
Most of the time.
Girl on girl on girl.
You would.
Like, stop picking up the fucking hot knife.
Fucking cares.
Right on track.
Ugh.
With a lot of money, I would do great fucking things.
But not in a good way.
Yikes.
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 Yikes. Where's the realness?
No. Everything you want. Immaculate experience.
Back down.
You're getting like excited.
I do actually.
Give me the tequila.
Exactly. Just a little lip juice before we hop in today. Get those lips hydrated. Bano, all this for you.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody.
Yeah, welcome back. We're in a mood today.
Oh yeah, we both have had. We get on the call and I'm like, Kelsey, is there some fucking eclipse bullshit going on? Because I'm like, I don't usually buy in. I don't like buy into too much of that because I'm like, I don't want to like be victim to like whether eclipses are doing shit or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
who knows? But I'm like, because there is some fucking funky ass shit. I'm like, my power's out. I couldn't get on a call. My internet wasn't working. Even my phone wasn't working. Like it's been like juju. You should have seen my driving today. I was a fucking rough rider. I was like, if I'm getting a ticket, today's the day. Because I am like driving it like it's stolen. My parking is
Oh
like
my God.
3 out of 10. I'm just like
Going rogue.
going rogue.
Oh
Going rogue.
gosh, I think it's probably good that I haven't driven yet today, because today would be like road rage times a bazillion. Like I just woke up feeling so agitated, and I was saying it before we got on, it's like that kid's book of like Alexander and the no good very bad day, and I'm just like cranky and like irritated and just like, oh, just fucking leave me alone, world. And like, no one's here. I live by myself. I'm not even talking to anyone on my phone. Like, I'm just having this internal dialogue with myself of just being irritated. And, it's one of those mornings where you get up and you're like catching your like shirt on the fucking doorknob, and then like you run into the, counter with your head, or like the cupboard with your head. And I mean, those, like the cupboard thing didn't happen, but like I'm like catching on doors, and I'm making my coffee and I'm just fucking pissed.
The best is when you swear at like your like counter. You're like, fuck
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And you're like, who am I talking to? Like, the fuck? Like,
Sometimes I think like if I was in the Truman Show and like someone is just like watching my life and I don't know that I'm being watched, I'm like, oh gosh, like this is
yeah.
like actually mental. Like the conversations I'm having, and I'm just so irritated. And I just surrendered to it when I was making my coffee. I'm like, you know what? I think today is just going to be one of those days where I'm just fucking pissed and I'm irritated, and I'm not even going to try and make it better.
Yeah.
I'm just going to roll with it. I'm just going to let myself be where I'm at, instead of trying to like perform over top of that, or like pretend that I'm not feeling that way. I'm like, nah, I'm just going to fucking own it. And I'm obviously not going to be a fucking cunt on my calls with my clients, but
Sure.
I was a little bit more like on the beat, a little cutthroat today in some of the coaching that came through, because I'm like, no. And
They're like, should I leave my boyfriend? And you're like, leave him.
Yes.
He's a fucking dickwad. He's a waste of space.
I was literally like, cut him out.
Go out and slice mother dick. Here's a message to her. Here's a fucking application to Raya. Get on there and go jerk off to some new dudes. They're like, whoa. Kelsey's gone
whoa.
rogue.
Yeah, what happened? But I mean, this happens. Like, we can wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and we can just have days where we feel like shit. And the more permission, and again, like, we're not saying go and take that out on anybody. That's the difference. Like, I think a lot of people who don't have permission and approval for having like shitty days, because they're fighting it, they're like, I shouldn't be feeling this way, I shouldn't be having this bad day. And then they actually go and off gas that and discharge it and throw it onto other people. And that's where it gets really problematic relationally. And there's a lot to clean up after that. But if you can just be in full permission and be like, listen, I'm going to be a fucking cunt today. And it is what it is. And I'm probably going to stay close to home. I'm probably not going to talk to a lot of people. I will talk to my best friend because I can be my full range self with her. And that's going to be it, you know? Like, you know it's bad when an orgasm in the morning doesn't set you right. Like, I literally woke up so angry and annoyed, and then I'm like, orgasm it is. Didn't help. I tried another one. Didn't work. So I'm like, okay, this is just what it is today.
I love how you're like, I shall use my tools. Tool 1 of 1, orgasm. Didn't work. Fuck.
Do it again.
Day's ruined. Everything's ruined. No more tools.
No more tools.
Nothing. We're done. We're done. I'm over it.
Oh, well, because
No.
it normally does clear like the energy, because it's more like this energetic thing going on in my body today. And that's why I use that tool, because it normally does like flush it and like clear it, but not today.
Not today, friends. Not today. You know what? You bring up such a good point about approval, because same thing. I think the initial response when you're having a bad day or you wake up feeling like a bag of dicks or just cranky or whatever it is to like be like, well, what's wrong with me? I should be high vibe. I should be this. What's wrong? You know, and then you go into the like, well, I should be grateful. Like I'm not living, you know, I could be famished and I could be having it so much worse. And we kind of go into this mode, which makes it, I find, even worse, because then you're adding like, you're layering shame on top of already like harder feelings. And so, same thing with me. I just woke up, and actually it's funny because I've had really bad sleeps. Like I'm still a little jet lagged, and then my youngest daughter has not been sleeping, so she's waking up at like screaming usually around anywhere between midnight and 3. So I go in her room, but usually if I bring her into my bed, she'll fall asleep right away. Like for the last like week, she goes in the bed and then she continues to scream and can not be soothed.
No.
Yeah. So it's like I'm up for
demon.
like an hour. Yeah. Like, and I'm like, oh, because I'm already like super jet lagged. So I find I've been getting up in the morning, and I've had my kids full time since I've been back. And so, and then I've also had a very, very busy work schedule because of being gone. And then I'm also gone next week to Denver for a mastermind. So it's just been like nuts and having to like ride through it all. So when I woke up today, there was like, she actually slept really well last night, which was great, like in general. My sleep was decent, and then because obviously sleep impacts us massively. Yeah. Got up, and it was actually fairly smooth this morning with the girls, which is like the opposite of the past week. But then when I dropped them off, I was just like, I went and sat at a coffee shop, and I was like, okay, I have some work to do, and then I'll go and have a workout. And I already had this one workout planned, and then I'm sitting there doing some work, trying to get caught up in some stuff, and I get this like text message through being like, you only have like one Legree class left. And I was like, one Legree class? I'm like, well, I have one on Monday, but I've only used a couple. And I was like, fuck, I put myself on a wait list. Oh. And I forgot to change my email. It's got my old email, and it was one of those things where it was like, I knew to change my email, and then I forgot. I was meant to do it on the flight flying out to London. And I totally it was one of those moments where I was like, Christine, go and do it, because it's going to fuck you up one day. And I was like, I'll do it later. Which I was like, fuck, what did I sign up for? So I go in the thing, and it's like, and I look at the thing, and it's like 10 a.m. and it's like 9:40. And I'm like far away from, you know what I mean? I was just like, oh my God. So it's just like one of these things where I'm like, oh my God. So I had to like cancel the one workout, then jump to the other one. Anyways, it was like one of those things where it just started off clunky. And then in the workout, everything was clunky. Like I was just like, I was like, ew, I looked like fucking tired. And then I was kind of like self-criticizing a little bit, which I haven't in a while. And I was like, my hair was like fucking all over. It was like it was like this. I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like everything was just weird, you know? And then structure was kind of off. Like I was just like, everything just felt like, I don't know. It was new machines, and it was just like, I don't know. Again, first world problems, let's be real. But just the whole thing was just fucking weird. And then when I got home, and the whole Wi-Fi thing, and like everything was, and I was like, fuck, I have cleaners coming. And if they can't like plug in vacuum, like it was just, and it happened last time the cleaners came, the power was off. It was just this weird thing where like they can't see inside the bathroom. It was just this like really bizarre, again, all wildly first world problem shit. Like, let's be fucking real. I'm just going to name that. Like, this is like, you might be like, okay, how about some real some real shit right now.
Real issues.
But what we're bringing it back to is just that there are going to be days where it's just the puzzle piece doesn't fit. There's days where you're like,
Clunky.
I'm on fucking fire.
Hmm.
Life is amazing, and you know what's really cool about having these days is that it really does remind me that this used to be my everyday.
Right.
Like it really, the contrast where having this, where I was like, whoa, this is a weird day. This is so off.
Hmm.
Why, like that used to be, I would literally say my everyday, except I would also be layered with like a million emotions of,
Yeah.
just like complete overwhelm or shutdown or like hopelessness or all sorts of other things layered on top of it. And so it was really interesting to be like, wow, these really days really don't happen very often. Like even if shit goes down in my life, which it often does, I'm
Yeah.
usually very optimistic,
Yeah.
very like, I've got this, I'm fucking good. I laugh it off. And I also love that even though these things happen, like how we react to them makes a huge difference. So like even today, we both got on the call and you're like, I'm fucking cranky. And I was like, I fucking had the worst day. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And then we start laughing.
Yeah.
And so it also is again, like just seeing how quickly when we're willing to just name it and not try to pretend like I could have got on here and you could have got on here. We're gonna be like, okay, so we have to podcast now and I just need to get myself out of this bad mood. And I could have like tried to pep talk myself, out of it and been like, okay, just, be positive and be optimistic and whatever. And I was like, I love that we can just come here and be like, wow, we're cranky. Let's go talk about it. And let's talk
Yeah.
about how to get yourself out of a fucking mood and
Yeah.
not out of, but just alchemize it. It's not even trying to reject it. It's just like, oh, wow, I'm having a shitty day. Things are kind of clunky.
Hmm.
And how do I want to, like, what am I going to do to make sure I don't go out and be a fucking asshat to people? I'm going to like stay close to home. I'm not going to today's not the day to fire off a ton of emails and messages and like get back to them. Today's the day to chill, sit on the couch, feel the feelings, go tell somebody that you're like, yeah, you know what, I'm kind of having a shit day. Because even when you do that, it actually alchemizes it. Like it totally, it like neutralizes it completely. If you say I'm having a shit day,
Yep.
and I feel like a bag of dicks, you can't help but like not laugh. Like you're out of it. You know what I mean? Like pops you right out of it. Because it's only when you're in it and you're like, I shouldn't be here and I'm so mad at that person and they did that thing and and we're in that like external environment versus just saying like, wow, I feel really out of control today or I feel like shitty or really hard things are happening.
Yeah.
And informing people. Like I think it's really important to inform people. Like I was even thinking of that. Like Steve messaged me and I was like, yeah, I said, my first 45 minutes of my group certification call got like my power was down and not only that but like I couldn't even tether my laptop and then also my phone wouldn't even log in. Like I'm like I had 3 things and he's like I'm like just to kind of have a little bit of a shit day and he's like, oh, I'm really sorry that that's happened for you, that really sucks and blah blah. But like we can inform people that we're having a bad day. Like that's a really good tool to be able to do because then people aren't taking it personally because majority of people have shitty days or things happen that are completely unrelated to us or our relationship and then they bring it out on us or they are like cold or distant. And that happened a lot in like different relationships I've been in where they wouldn't communicate and then there's just this like pullback and no communication and then people internalize it and are you mad at me and like that you can see where this anxious attachment and avoidant attachment comes in and this whole fucking jumbled mess. So if you wake up feeling like a cunt face, step number 1,
Just say so.
just say so and inform people who need to know it, like, or even your boss, or even if it's somebody that you're like not as close to that you don't feel like you can be as vulnerable. Just say like, hey, you know what, having a little bit of a tough day today and it's not going to impact my work. I'm still going to do a really good job, but I just feel like I need a bit of space today or whatever it is. It just can help like people understand and so we don't cause excess chaos on the back end of that bad day and that bad day doesn't turn into a bad week and a bad month and a bad year because we're never taking responsibility for it.
Oh, Bano. You're fucking nailing it. And it's so true. Like, if you inform people, and again, the process of informing someone, you're literally just telling the truth, and that creates more space for it to kind of let go of its talons on you. Like, as soon as we were able to like come here and say, listen, I'm in a fucking mood. And like also just the way that it's being transmitted, we know that the mood is not about each other either.
Totally.
But if we didn't, and like you said, if we didn't inform each other of that, then my responses or your responses they might be different than normal. And then we're clocking that as this is out of the ordinary of our cadence. And the brain, go back and listen to last week's podcast, friends, if you want a little insight on this negativity bias. But like your brain is naturally going to default to, oh, there's something wrong here if we're running unconscious. Like if we're in more of our consciousness and intentionality, we might be able to catch it and be like, okay, they might be having a bad day or they might be off, or maybe I'll just ask a question and see how they're doing before I jump to any conclusions. But if we inform people, we kind of take a lot of the hard guesswork out of it, and we kind of keep it clean as best we can. And I think that's a really relationally generous thing to do, is to let people know where you're actually at on the map any given day. And it does prevent a lot of chaos. And people don't realize that they are the origin of most of the chaos that they experience. And that there are these little things that if they cleaned up, and this is why I love working with women in the club so much, is because they will come and they will share their stories, and then we'll be able to watch and listen, and we're like, oh, well, there's your energy leak. This thing right here, like, clean that up and you're golden. And it's so obvious on the outside, but when you're in it, it's not always as obvious, and it can be harder to find your way through the fog. So being able to just out it and say, listen, I'm not at my best today.
Totally. It's like, am my gas tank full or empty? Am I running on
Yeah.
fumes, putt putt?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or am I like gassed up fully and like feeling
100%.
resourced and,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the crazy thing is like a day like today, I had a great sleep. Like according to what well resourced would look like. I've been
Yeah.
working out, I've been eating really well, I've been sleeping really well, I've been walking 10,000 steps a day. Like by all of those measures, like that would put me in a well resourced state.
Hmm.
But I still woke up feeling like a fucking bitch. And it is what it is. And just before we got on here, I was looking at the calendar. I was like, oh, I know. I know why this happened. And where I am in my cycle, there's this inevitable flip that happens every single month. And it is like pre period, and it is very noticeable where I just hate everyone and everything. And it luckily it doesn't last for too long. It's usually a day or two and I'm out of the weeds. But it's like this spot where like everything that maybe I've swept under the rug, I don't have any of those buffer hormones anymore.
Right.
So now it's like really up for me, and I'm seeing it and I'm fucking pissed and I'm irritated. And I don't realize that all this stuff is happening until I let it bubble up to the surface, and then I start sifting through it of like, what am I actually irritated about here? Like, do I need to have a conversation about boundaries? Do I need to have like a clarifying conversation? Like, do I need to just be alone and not talk to anyone for a couple days? Like, what's
Totally.
going on for me that I need to address? And, when I even have that frame of like every single month, there are going to be shifts in my hormones and shifts in my perceptions and my energy levels because of that. And it's not a weakness, it's really a superpower when you get in harmony and in sync with it. And, we're going to be doing a lot of that in this next quarter of the club when we're talking about sex, because in order to really be in right relationship with your sexual energy and your pleasure, especially as a woman, you need to understand you're so cyclical.
Hmm.
And
Love it. Mm. Please forgive me for what I have done. Pray period.
well, this is the crazy part. When I was doing a lot of couples work, and I tended to work with couples who were on the brink of divorce or breakup.
Yeah.
And before, like, we would make an agreement, like, no breakups, in this like 6 month period, we're going to give it our all. And if you guys still want to end it at the end of 6 months, we will do that in a relationally responsible way.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started tracking data, and I'm like, when do these conversations of initiating the end of the relationship happen? I want you to clock it and pinpoint it alongside her cycle. And every single couple that I have ever worked with, it always fell in that period of time right before her period. So the PMS, like premenstrual period, where her hormones drop, her, like, she can't have that buffer of like, oh, everything's fine. I'll sweep it under the rug. I've got a lot of love hormones going. Like, we're
Yeah.
good. And then it just like stops. And you're like, I hate everyone and everything. And like, I need to be alone. And like, there is this primal energetic around it too, because when women go into their bleed, there is a period of time where we're supposed to rest and be a little bit more reclusive and not be around like such chaotic, busy energy. But the way that the world is set up, especially in Western culture, that's rarely the experience that a lot of women have. So it builds up in that premenstrual phase, and that's where we see a lot of explosive fights between couples, well, male female couples, and where there's like a threat to the relationship, or like they're threatening to end the relationship, or like, fine, just fucking leave. Like we have all of this
I
shit
don't
comes
care.
up.
See you never again, dick
Yeah.
face.
And then a week and a half later, love me. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I just needed a hug.
Well, that's often what it is.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it is just as simple as like I need a hug, or I need like a really grounding meal.
Yeah.
And today I was like, Kelsey, you know where you are in your cycle now. And you cannot get by not eating. Like you have to stay on it in this window. Because if you don't, you are going to cause some serious damage wherever you go. Like you got to be well resourced. And for me, like the hangry gets out of control in this like couple day window. So if I just like stay on the beat of, okay, let's make sure we're well nourished, we're getting some grounding foods in, and then I keep my distance from other human beings.
DND, do not disturb for
Yeah,
the next fucking 10
Like,
days.
that's literally me all the time.
Well, it's funny because I used to think, honestly, I have to be totally transparent. I used to think all of this like PMS, women on their rag, is what they used to call it back in the day. Like, I used to think it was just such fucking horseshit.
Right.
Like, I'm telling you, like, I was just like, oh, okay, whiny, just an opportunity to be a little bitch. Like, I just was, it was so crazy how, I mean, I talked about this before, but just how I like rejected the feminine and just rejected anything to do with it. Like I was like, ew, periods are so gross. Like the amount of times I tried to double up on like, or like, when birth control, I would like continue taking it so I didn't get my period. Because I was like going to Vegas or I was going somewhere.
Yeah.
Not even that I was like probably even having sex, but I just like didn't want to be like, I don't know. It was just like so crazy. And all aesthetics, didn't give a fuck about any of it. And so it's just so fascinating to actually be like, oh yeah, there's a noticeable difference. There's something to this. Like, why is it that I'm like, it's just so fascinating. And obviously it's been the journey of descending into my body versus living above it and not experiencing any of it. Disassociation for a lot of my life.
Disassociation.
Being in a trauma response for a lot of my life.
Yeah.
So it's been fascinating diving into it. Can we just pause for a second? Did you say that you're due on the 4th?
Yeah.
You're fucking out of control. I'm due on the 4th.
No.
You started talking and I was like, I wonder where I am, because I was like, I feel kind of cunty. Like I woke up kind of cunty.
Yeah.
And then I literally opened my app and it literally says the 4th. I'm due on the 4th. Thursday the 4th.
Yeah, same.
Which is fucking crazy. Number one is when I'm at my mastermind in Denver, so I'm not thrilled about that. But but it's been coming a few days late. But you and I, multiple times since we've known each other, have been more than like 2.5 weeks apart.
Yeah.
Like majority of the time we're completely at polar opposites. And then like certain times, especially around like launches, you and I will like sync up closer. It goes like closer, or like I'll get my period like 7 days early or like 7 days late, or crazy shit will happen. And now we're literally on the exact same day.
Yeah, it's so wild. It's so wild. And like because for the longest time I was getting mine on the 24th.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And
You
then
mentioned
it started to like shift and I'm like, okay, we're in a phase where we must be syncing with each other or something is going on. But also sometimes, well, not sometimes, like this is a trackable pattern that like for part of the year I bleed closer to the new moon and then part of the year I bleed closer to the full moon. And so it usually flips around spring and fall.
that. Okay.
And so I'm not surprised that there's this shifting happening, but also like the fact that we are on the exact same day now is wild.
And
No
we both woke up
wonder.
feeling like cunt faces.
Yeah, no wonder. I mean, this is great because if we stay on this cycle with each other, then we can coordinate our business and, you know, it actually is a great thing if you're running a female led business and a feminine led business to be in sync with your cycle and start planning things around that. But it's tough when you have two different women on two different cycles. But if we're synced now, well, watch out, world.
Sinky, sinky.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, our invitation to you is that, like, I'm sure you can relate to some of this stuff, is like, what do you do when you're having a jam and you wake up? And, like, here's some, like, more tangible advice. Like, number one, do not shame yourself. Like, do
Right.
not get in the weeds with yourself. Do not layer shame on top of already hard feelings. Like, it's
Yeah.
just, what a waste, you know? It's like, let's be extra mean to ourselves. Like, we're already
Right.
having a tough day, right? Like, let's be extra mean. And it also traps the original emotion that
Hmm.
is originally coming up, right? And it might be something. It might be your period, like, you know, might be PMS. It also might be where somebody said something and you haven't digested it or you haven't had
Yeah.
time to think about it and it's now hitting you a few days later, right? Like, I
Yeah.
know the amount of times I've had conversations and I've been in, like, a trauma response, and then,
Hmm.
like, 2 days, 3 days later, I'm like replaying and looping the conversation because it's like unprocessed because I
Yeah.
wasn't really there, or I fawned, or I did, you know, I did said yes when I wanted to say no, or, like, you know, something isn't sitting right, or whatever. It could be a million different things, right? But
Hmm.
if you wake up in a shitty mood, or, you know, there's many things you can do, but don't shame yourself, and, like, really look at your day and be like, what is, like, today's not the day to push yourself. Today's not the day to go and send out a million emails. Today's not the day to get back to text messages that you've had been in your inbox for the last fucking 2 weeks and you haven't responded to. Like, today's not the day to, like, one of my mentors one time said, like, don't try to be like superhuman and make superhuman decisions when you're not feeling that way. Like, it's, what are
Hmm.
we doing? Like, why would we punish ourselves like that?
Yeah.
You know, like, if you're not feeling like that, don't use those days to go and do those things. Like, take
Hmm.
it as a day to take care of yourself. Like, sometimes when we're feeling this way, we reject ourselves, we want to turn against ourselves, and this is actually when I'm like, turn towards yourself and
Hmm.
get curious. Like, what is it, what's going on for me? Can I be gentle with myself?
Yeah.
You know, because oftentimes when we're kids and we're in a bad mood, our parents villainize us, or they're angry at us, or they get, you know, tell us to go in our rooms, or there's all sorts of
Hmm.
repercussions. And so oftentimes we don't want to go and meet what's actually there, and it's
Yeah.
actually the fastest and quickest way through it is actually going right into it, being like, what's going on for me? And, like, I like to put my hands on my body, and, like, hands on heart, or hands on, like, if I'm feeling tense or stressed, I'm like, what's going on? Or hands on belly and be like, what's going on? It's like, I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed, I've got too many things on the go, or this person said this thing, it didn't land right. Or, so I do a lot of processing before taking action, because a lot of people just, there's some sort of stimulus, they respond, and that's again like what we were talking about earlier, where the carnage, the chaos happens, where we're taking action from a
Yeah.
place of dysregulation. We're not in our highest self, we're not thinking clearly. It's like, if you want to go and send a snappy text, reel it back, like,
Hmm.
push hook it back, reel
Yeah.
it
Press
back.
pause on maybe wait 24 hours.
Yeah, like, processing the emotion, and then, like you said, deciding, like, is this a conversation I need to have? Is there something deeper underneath the surface that's bubbling? Or am I just in a shitty mood?
Hmm.
Right? You might just be having a shitty day, and that's
Yeah.
okay, and it will pass. And it might just also be your body calling for rest. It might just be like, hey, you know what? You need a rest day. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you a million piles of energy right now, because I actually really need you to just, like, chill out, right? I
Hmm.
need you to, like, take a beat. I need you to integrate. I need you to digest, you know, the last week, month, day,
Yeah.
year, whatever, right? And so, I think resisting what is, and resisting that bad day, only makes it worse. They always say, like, what
Hmm.
we resist persists, but it's like,
Yeah.
really just allowing it to be there and informing people, like really being mindful about personal responsibility and emotional intelligence and informing people like, hey, the most playful, fun-loving, kind way you can. I'm just like,
Sure.
hey, you know what? Kind of in a cranky mood today. It's not about you.
Yeah.
I'm just going through some stuff.
Might want to keep your
And
distance.
yeah, and I just like need a day, or hey, you know what? Having a shitty day, and can I get back to you tomorrow, or
Yeah.
whatever it is, or calling somebody and being like, hey, I'm having a shitty day. Can I vent to you? Like, do you have time and energy? I think sometimes people bombard people by calling them and being like, hey, you wouldn't believe it, and they just
Yeah.
fire
Whoa.
hose into somebody and not asking for permission or asking if that person has capacity, right? Like, um, in fact, I was overhearing a conversation this morning. I think it was two firefighters, or a firefighter and a friend, and I was sitting by them, and I was already feeling really tired and kind of just out of it, and I overheard the guy talking about like something he'd seen in like Alaska or something, and like this, he's like, oh, the guy was just like decimated, his arm was over here and his
Oh,
body, and I literally was just like, I had to like, I
bro.
went and like I had to put my AirPods in
Yeah.
because I was like, I'm so like, I mean,
Overstimulated already.
overstimulated. And this is also goes back to our last week's conversation on the podcast around just like overdoing it with information, and especially if we don't have capacity, and especially if it's like triggering information or a lot of information is not good for our systems. We're not designed for that. And so
No.
just like watching, if you are having a shitty day, like it is really healthy to vent, and I do believe in that, obviously.
Yeah,
Like the
of
amount of
course.
times I've called you or you called me and you're like, listen, I need to have a shadow dump, I need
Yeah.
to like fucking vent, I need to like just half at her, and can you hold space for me? But having that intentionality and making sure that the person does, because what can happen is it can backfire if you go to say something to somebody and they're like, well, you should be like, if they don't have capacity, their response might be like, well, you should be grateful, or like, what are you
Yeah.
complaining about? Or
Yeah.
they might say something that then like fuel on the fire, and then we're mad at them and pissy. So it's like, just be gentle, come inwards, stay close to home, like
Yep.
don't push yourself, like don't, and also just don't over fucking think it. Like so often we make a bad day mean, we're like, oh my god,
Sure.
my manifestation is ruined, I must not be spiritual,
I'm off track.
I'm off track, I'm gonna fuck everything up. If I was a good person who's deserving of all the things I want in my life, I would be feeling this way. And we literally, especially in the personal development spiritual world, I really do notice we love to blow it up. And I'm also speaking from experience, but like in the past, if I've had a bad day, I am fighting it. I used to fight it so hard. Like I was like, there's something wrong with me. I must be, I need to. Then I would be searching Abraham Hicks. Like, okay, I need to move up the emotional scale in the ladder.
Right.
I need to like move up the emotional scale of the vibrational ladder. I need to get into a better vibration. And then I'd be like tapping and doing meditations and like doing all the things and trying to get rid of it.
Sure.
And oftentimes there was way more stuff underneath it. It was like, there was tons of, stuff underneath it. So it was only numbing that. But I was never going inwards and being like, what's going on?
No.
What do I need? What do I need right now? What unmet need do I have? Or
Yeah.
what conversation do I need to have? Not now, but like, or what is it? And or maybe it's just nothing. And you're like, I have no answers. And today's just a shit ball day. And I love being cranky. And I'm going to go watch TV, or I'm going to go and do something like,
I'm gonna go have 10 orgasms.
totally, or go set a timer and be like, you know what, I'm gonna go and be as mad as I want for the next hour, and then maybe I'll be fine. But when we give ourselves permission and we meet it, it honestly moves so quickly. That's the funny part, is like when you're not trying to move it, you're actually like, oh, let me get to know you, and you can stay as long as you need. It like is like poof, gone, because
100%.
right? It's just, there's something going on that's usually deeper, or something that is just looking for a rest, or something very simple like rest, or something deeper that actually needs to be addressed. But either way, becoming intimate with ourselves, which is obviously what we teach in the club, is creating intimacy and falling in love with ourselves and our life, and getting to know ourselves very deeply, so that when we're creating our life and these lives we're obsessed with and navigating all this terrain, we feel really resourced, and we feel really just like close to home. We feel very connected with ourselves, which creates a lot of ease and a lot of flow and a lot more joy.
Yeah, and I'll also just say, like, on kind of a different thread, for me, when I get in these states, like, I usually have a lot of buzzy energy, and like there's a lot of energy in my system. So just like stopping and relaxing and doing nothing actually does not do much for me. Like, And so for me, when I'm in these stages and I'm really agitated and there's a lot of buzzy energy, like my system actually needs to move that. So like
Angry
going,
clean.
yeah, angry clean or like
I
a
love
high
angry clean.
intensity workout,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
going to like do a spin class or like something where or like lifting heavy weights. Like when I'm fucking pissed, I love going to the gym and just trying to hit a new personal record in
Mm.
like the weights that I'm lifting or like what I'm pushing and just like move it that way. And once I do, that discharges the energy to the point where then I can rest and sit with it and be like, okay, what's underneath here?
Yeah.
But if I don't tend to that buzzy energy, it just compounds and then I can't sleep.
Yeah.
I can't, I'm just kind of spinning my wheels. So I want to put that out there for anyone who might have a similar system where when you get a little dysregulated and like there's a buildup of big energy, like you can go and like move that energy, just do it in a productive way, like do it in a way that nourishes your body. And that's why I love movement so much, because it's such a great ally to the work that we do. And if I go and have like a big sweat session and like just work it out, and like I literally have a playlist on my Spotify. It's called Ride the Crazy Away. And it's for these exact moments when I'm in this state and I go and I put that playlist on and I just fucking ride and I take it out on the bike and like I will be dripping sweat and then I'll go lift some heavy weights and then I'll be ready to like either go for a walk
Feel.
or like feel or like sit with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want you to have access to whatever your system needs in order to be able to get to that place to do everything that Christine so eloquently like brought to our attention here today, because that is really important to connect to those deeper layers, but sometimes you need to burn off that energy first. Otherwise for me, like it literally feels like this buzzy film over my whole body and I can't access anything anyway. So I'd rather go and move that. And like today, I'm like 100 kettlebell swings in my living room. It is.
Whew, whew. Neighbors are like, what the fuck is going on over there? Just
Yeah.
like grunting and like
Yeah.
loud dropping noises. Like, yeah. Actually, those are really good exercises too. And I love what you're talking about because, yeah, sometimes you might be in that more like shutdown or dorsal where you're
Hmm.
like more just like, I can't. And you
Hmm.
need to just like
Hmm. Hmm.
go and turtle under the couch.
Yep.
And then there are the times where it's like, I've had that so many times where it's like 50-50 for me, where I've had that like activation and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm so pissed about because again,
Hmm.
the journey of coming back, I mean, this goes way back to, but like the journey of coming home into my body, like there's still times where I'm like override, I'm going, I'm moving quickly, which you have to honestly
Yep.
sometimes in
Yep.
entrepreneurship in
Yeah.
this, you have to override the fear,
Hmm.
you have to override that expansion,
Yep.
that sympathetic charge. But you're saying it so perfectly. I love your the words that you're using around that buzzy film, but it's like that's that sympathetic energy that's been discharged and it happened like it can come from so many things. And the problem is we're so hyper stimulated, again what we talked
Hmm.
about last week, we're so stimulated and there's so much stuff coming at us that it's releasing all these fucking stress hormones and there's nowhere for them to go,
Yeah.
right? It's like we're
Yeah.
driving and like somebody cuts us off, we're like, ugh, and then we have all this like all
Hmm.
this adrenaline and all this
Hmm.
fucking cortisol in our system, and then we can also feel anxious, dysregulated. And so I love the angry clean. Like if I'm
Hmm.
feeling like I've got energy and
Hmm.
I'm cranky, oh, you better you I have cleaned
Watch
and
out.
and organize my laundry, like re-gone and organize my laundry and done, because again I think it's that sense of control. It's like when I'm in that very like, again, I can feel it, it's almost like a zoned in, everything else is like not even there, I'm
Yeah.
just in this like
Hyperfixation.
hyperfixation going in and like angry cleaning, or I mean you see people do that shit all the time, right? Or
Oh,
like you
yeah.
said, going for a run or going and discharging. And I went to Barry's boot camp actually yesterday and I could really feel that, like I was needing that because I could feel that
Hmm.
kind of tiredness and I was like, "Meh, fuck you, I'm
Hmm.
gonna so got that out. But today I woke up feeling tired. So today is more of like the, I can tell I need more of like the relax. I need more of the
Yeah.
like sleepy relaxation, or go for a
Hmm.
massage, which I can't tonight. But like something like that would be really good for me. Is like
Yeah.
bringing me back into more sympathetic because I've had too much of it. So, Yeah, I love that we're kind of hitting on both sides of the spectrum depending on
Mm-hmm.
where you are and how you are processing or where
Yeah.
your shitty day is coming from. And if you have no idea and you're like, I have no fucking idea, that's like perfect too.
Yeah.
You don't need to know. It's just like doing something like you said, Kelsey, of like moving your body, or getting in contact. So like asking yourself, like, what do I need right now to help me feel? And not because we're trying to push it away, but just like what can I do right now to help me feel just a little more relaxed or a little more in tune with myself or
Yeah.
just a little more
Connected.
connected, yeah, with self and myself and what's happening. Because honestly, sometimes when I find when I go on those angry whatever fucking turbo workouts or angry clean, once I pause and I'm actually able to access under what's underneath, it's
Yeah.
usually sadness or there's usually some sort of like,
Yep.
last time that happened when I was in like my angry clean, I paused and I stopped and I was like sobbing. Like I was like
Mm-hmm.
crying, and the all of that excess emotional debris that I hadn't processed was just, it was causing a lot of dysregulation because there was just
Yeah.
too much in my system. And so like it might honestly be that you might just need a good fucking cry.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember back in the day I didn't even know, like I couldn't access the tears,
Mm-hmm.
and they would like sometimes come on at random moments. So like I had a little hack of going on and throwing on like America's Got Talent golden buzzers, and you see some
Mm-hmm.
like 7-year-old who, with like one arm go in and be like, I didn't want the golden buzzer. And I'm like, or like throwing in a movie or like
Yeah.
beautiful things or reading, beautiful acts of kindness or like, and it just, there's something hits and then I'm like sobbing and I'm like, oh, that was what I
Mm-hmm.
needed. I needed
You need to
that
trigger it.
discharge. Yeah, I needed to trigger it and I couldn't, and doing it in a healthy way, like
Yes.
of helping myself process. So I just, we wanted to let you know you're not alone. We
Mm-hmm.
all have bad days, and it's not about not having a bad day. It doesn't mean you're low vibe. Doesn't mean you're not
No.
going to manifest everything you want. Doesn't mean you can't make money that day. Doesn't mean you can't do any of that. It just means that you're a human,
Mm-hmm.
and some days suck donkey dick. Facts. And they're gonna have
Big
a shitty
facts.
day.
Big
Facts.
facts.
You're gonna
Yeah.
have a shitty day sometimes, and that's
Yeah.
okay. And who cares? And don't make it mean more than it is, and don't
Mm-hmm.
let it ruin your tomorrow or even your evening. Like, yeah, I already feel so much better. I'm like, I feel way more relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
You and I have co-regulation.
Yep.
We're laughing, which you can't be stressed out and in survival and in a shitty mood and laughing and smiling
Mm-hmm.
at the same time. So also I would suggest friends, if you're feeling like you're having a cranky day, come onto YouTube, check out our thumbnails of like each episode, because you will die,
Die.
because
They're
our
so funny.
amazing VA has done the most hilarious, she's like on fire, and
She's so good.
she's put the most hilarious thumbnails in every photo. I'm like this, I'm like Kelsey's like we're like, it's so, every time I see one I'm like, oh my god, if I was a
Die.
perfectionist I would die. They're like so hilarious, and come throw in an episode and be
Yeah.
like, you know what, I know it's gonna like lift me up and make me remember who the fuck I
Mm-hmm.
am, what I'm capable of. Who, we forget too. We have days and we're just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I have those all the time. Like, oh, what am I doing with my life? Who am I?
Mm-hmm.
Like shit
Mm-hmm.
like that. And then it's just, we're programmed to do that because our system wants to keep us safe and our soul wants to expand. And this is just part of also being on the journey, right? It's just
Mm-hmm.
like we have to stop. I think getting mad at humanity and that
Yeah.
sometimes having a bad day is just part of the human experience, and it doesn't. We don't have to make it mean anything and place meaning in story, because that's actually what locks it into place and makes it something bigger than it actually needs to be.
Preach it, Bano.
Parich. Well, friends.
I really feel like spin studios are missing an opportunity to do rage rides. Like
Totally.
anyone who's a spin instructor who's listening to this, like please take that idea and run with it, because I feel like it would be a bestseller. At least for, well, not everyone's on the same cycle. So like every week you're going to have someone who's fucking raging. And like it's better to take it out on the bike and do a rage ride than it is to like take it out on your relationships or yourself and sabotage yourself in your life. So we love you.
Facts.
Go the next time you have a bad day, practice some of these and let yourself like be fully human, like Christine said, and honor your experience. Go do something about it to really support yourself, and feel the feelings underneath. Like, you're human. You're not meant to be all up every single second of every single day, but you're also not meant to be down every single second of every single day. You're meant to go on the fucking journey, in, out, up, down, all of it. All of it belongs. So stop making it wrong and start getting in right relationship with it, creating some intimacy with it. And you might end up like us one day and just wake up and call your best friend and be like, I'm a fucking cunt today. And then you both laugh and you have a great day going forward.
We need like the 1-800 I'm a
Cunt
cunt
line.
hotline. And it's just shadow dumping. Hi there, I'd like to vent and I'd
Honestly,
like to.
that would be a great use for AI.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
AI, like shadow dump therapists, where you just
Yeah.
call in and they just let you kind of rip it and
They're like, tell me what you need to talk about today. And you're like, I
let
fucking
me tell
know.
you.
They're like, wow, that sounds like it's very challenging. And then like program them to just like say all the right things.
Yeah, yeah,
I hear you on that. Tell me more. Is there anything else you'd like to share with me?
exactly.
Oh my god.
Gosh, we're coming up with all sorts of great ideas
I
today.
know. We're just on a fucking business.
We're on
We're
a
just
roll
like,
here.
I know.
All right, we'll see how quickly that turns around, friends. Like, we went from having a shit day and then we talk about it, and then there's some expansion and possibility. And I'm going to go do a rage ride tonight. I'm going to make it myself. I'm obviously, there's no class that offers this yet, but one can dream. But I'm going to go do that and do some. Well, I don't know that rage, like laundry, is really a thing. I get
It can
more.
be.
It can be. I just get more annoyed because I have to go into the fucking basement to do it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but it is what it is. We're gonna get it done, and we're gonna have a little bit more mobility and more availability to the experiences from this point onward in the day. And it simply is because we were willing to be honest and talk about it and not take ourselves so goddamn seriously. And we hope that you take that invitation too. And then we'll be back next week with something new.
Yes. And if you haven't rated us on here yet, please give us a review, a rating, 5-star offs. Do not give us less than that. And if you don't like us, then, well, fuck off.
Why are you listening?
No, I'm joking. But like, yeah, write us a review. It really helps. It really, really helps us. And we just started our YouTube channel and we have all of our episodes from season 1 already uploaded. We're on season 2 right now and they're getting uploaded. So if you want to actually watch us and get the visual in, I mean, treat yourself. There's some days I'm like, whoa, I look like Turbo Bag of Dicks, but like, I'm good with it. I'm okay. But like, just go play and have fun in there. And again, subscribe, send it to your friends. Let's spread the word. And yeah, we love you.
Bye.
We love you. Bye.
All in all, we want to say thank you for being here. We love and appreciate you so much. And if you liked today, give us a 5-star rating. And we'll see you next week.
And share it. If you know somebody who needs this in their life, share this shit. Abundance goes round and round. We love you.
We love you. Bye.